So with this new COVID-19 coronavirus coming around, all of our lives are affected. If you want to know how it affects your fertility and your reproductive health, then keep watching. Before we begin this video, I want to quickly announce that to celebrate the 100,000 subscribers, I'm doing a live where I'm talking about my 5 favorite fertility supplements for 2020. Click the link below to register for this live masterclass where I'm going to share my fertility supplement protocol with you. Hi, I'm Dr. Marc Sklar, the Fertility Expert, and I work with couples from all over the world to help you get pregnant naturally. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, then you need to be so that I can help you too. Just hit the bell to subscribe. So now let's get into the details that relate to the corona or COVID-19 virus that we're all scared of these days and everyone's trying to protect themselves from, and how it relates to your fertility and reproductive health and what you can do to protect yourself and all the details around it. So first and foremost, the big thing and why everyone is asking you to distance yourself socially, to stay clean, and to isolate yourself from those who are affected is primarily because we're trying to flatten the curve, right? That the higher the spike, I'm sure you've all heard this already in recent days, but the more we stay socially active and engage with one another, the higher that curve is going to be in terms of infected individuals. And the problem that causes is that it causes a strain on our medical system and hospitals because they are not equipped to deal with and handle the volume of people that need proper medical care. So if we can reserve the hospitals and all the severe medical treatment for those who really need it, then that's ideal. And the way to do that is to flatten the curve, as they're saying, reduce infection and spread, and distance ourselves from others so that all of us who are healthy can stay healthy and not have to be around those who are sick, or those who have mild infections can do that in the comfort of their home and not have to burden the hospital system with that. So that's why we're trying to flatten the curve. Now, as it relates to all of you, and sorry if I'm looking down, I've got my computer here that has my notes, so periodically you'll see me look down. But as it relates to all of you watching with regards to your fertility and reproductive health, well, what does that mean for your fertility? Well, right now we have limited information about the effects of the coronavirus on fertility and reproductive health. We do have some information based on previous coronaviruses. So this is called COVID-19. There are other coronaviruses in the same family. And so we are making assumptions based on those other viruses, even though this one's different. We're trying to learn from those. And then as we learn more information from this one, this will be updated, and I'll hopefully put out another video with more information as we gather more information about it and how it affects you. Interestingly enough, as I was sitting down to record this, I took a moment and just checked my email, and I already had an update that I had to change in here to update all of you. And that's how quickly things are changing. So I'm recording this on the 14th of March, and we might have more updates by the time this is actually released to all of you in a few days. So first and foremost, I want to read to you, I'm going to read it pretty much word for word, what ASRM, the American Society for Reproductive Medicine, released yesterday. So this is their suggestions and information that they released yesterday to the medical professional community. And so they said, obviously, I'll spare you on some of this, obviously as this spreads, we're all concerned and so on. And basically what they said is currently very little is known about the impact of COVID-19 on reproduction and pregnancy. There are reports of women who have tested positive for COVID-19 delivering babies free of the disease. This data is reassuring, but must be interpreted with caution given the small numbers, which is what I was saying before. Other forms of coronavirus 3 and 4, remember I said previously that this is a family, coronavirus is a family, and this is a virus within that family, have been linked to increased adverse outcomes during pregnancy, but data specific to COVID-19 is not yet available. It should be emphasized, however, that the coronaviruses are unrelated to Zika. There was that Zika scare years ago, which had very clear implications on pregnancy and fetal development. Given the information we do have, while it would be wise for individuals with confirmed or presumed COVID-19 infection to avoid pregnancy, there appears to be no cause for alarm with those already pregnant. But they go on to say that if you are going through an IVF cycle right now, that maybe right now is not the time to do a transfer of the embryo, but they do feel like it's safe to go through a retrieval cycle and fertilize and freeze those embryos and wait. So that's the information that was released yesterday, March 13th, from ASRM. Now, what we do know as a kind of recap from that, and then I'm going to expand just a little bit based on that email I just received, is that there is a low transfer rate from mom to fetus, right? So we're not very concerned currently that the virus will spread from the mom to the baby in utero. If you are pregnant, the potential concern is with your health and your respiratory function. And so if you are more prone to infection and when you are pregnant, so we do recommend that you do isolate yourself, be conservative in how you interact with those around you. And like it said in the ASRM statement, that this is based on information that we've already gathered from previous coronaviruses, not necessarily this one. And it doesn't seem that the virus is passing to the fetus. However, and this is the email I just got, there is one report out of England currently, as of a couple of hours ago, that there was a mom who came in to deliver at the hospital. They did test her previously to delivery for the COVID-19 virus, and she came up positive. They found that out after she delivered. And so they tested the baby after delivery, and now the baby has come back positive for the coronavirus as well. What is confusing and what we don't know is that two doctors within the same hospital delivery room also were tested and came back positive, and they were tested because the patient was tested and they came out positive. So what we don't know is if that baby contracted the virus from the mom in utero prior to delivery, or if it was contracted very quickly shortly thereafter from one of the physicians or some other manner, or even through the birthing canal. So we just don't know enough information about this, which brings caution, right? It brings some concern. What you should be doing if you are currently pregnant is reaching out to your OB to discuss your options, to discuss everybody being prepared and ready, and possible testing, right? What this means for all of us who are trying to conceive right now, because that would be my question as well. What do I do? As the report from ASRM just said, that if you are in the fertility process and in the IVF process, that maybe this is the time to freeze your embryos, not the time to transfer your embryos, but you should consult with your current REI or reproductive endocrinologist to help guide you in that situation. My recommendation to patients is to proceed with caution. I would also say that those of you who are immune compromised and have a previous medical history of any respiratory issues, you might also scale back right now and wait before you transfer an embryo. Now, how about if we're trying naturally? If we're not using IVF, what do we do? Well, I feel comfortable that if you are in an area that is not infected or not highly populated, not highly infected, and everything is under control in your area, then maybe it's a safe time for you to move forward with trying. And quite frankly, as we're all in somewhat quarantine and having to keep our distance from everybody, I do expect to see a spike in pregnancies and birth rates because of this. That's typically what happens in situations like this. But we do want to proceed with caution. If you're in a highly affected area like Seattle, Washington, or China, or wherever, Italy, this is not the time to be trying to have a baby, right? And so what could you do during this time versus just take a break? And how do you manage your fertility journey during this time? And that's really what I want to get into right now. So we've just covered all the initial information that we know of currently about the actual virus itself. Now, what can you do as an individual and as a couple moving forward to help support your fertility and, in this case, your immune system moving forward? So I have a couple points that I want to go over and address here. The first one that I really want to address is if you're in a highly populated area that everyone is being infected with the virus and there are concerns or you're concerned about a period, maybe this is the time to take a step back and to just wait on your trying to conceive journey, right? But it doesn't mean you have to stop with your whole fertility process. I would use the next 2 to 3 months to help you prepare. So this is the time where you buckle down, you take care of yourself, you get on the right supplements, you get on the right plan for yourself, clean up your diet, improve your exercise. So this is the time where I would take care of you. This is for time for you to do a lot of self-care, manage your health, reconnect with your partner, make sure you guys are on the same page, revitalize your relationship. Use this for the positive. Let's not use this to constantly be scared and concerned about everything. Let's turn this around. Let's be positive, focus on ourselves, and focus on the things that you can do to take care of you and your family and your loved ones so that you can stay healthy and boost your immune system all at the same time. So use this time proactively and take these next 2 to 3 months while everything is being figured out and addressed. Take this time to take care of you. So while we're taking care of you, we do need to take care of our immune system. And we do know that 100% that the first and number one thing you can do to make sure that you don't contract the virus or that you don't spread it is washing your hands. So here are my tips for how to do that, how to wash your hands. By the way, we do know that if we just did this alone, we would decrease the spread of viruses, including COVID-19, by upwards of 70%. So it's so simple to do, but most of us, under 30 or 20% of us, don't wash our hands properly. So what do I mean by that? We're not taking the time to suds up our hands, scrub them good, and do it for enough time. So this is how I want you to wash your hands. So as we just talked about, we talked about the importance of washing hands. So my boys here are going to show you the proper way to wash your hands. So what do we do first?
Turn on the water.
Excellent. Okay.
Dip your hands in it.
Okay.
Then turn it off.
What's next?
We get soap and scrub your hands for 20 seconds, which is the correct amount of time for 2 times of the happy birthday song.
Okay, so let's do it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
And you see, look, they're scrubbing their nails
Happy birthday,
between their hands.
dear Happy birthday to you.
And that was just one happy birthday song. So now we're going to do it again. This is how long 20 seconds actually is when we have to wash our hands, which most of you probably do not do.
Happy birthday, dear Levi. Happy birthday, dear anyone.
And then we wash. See, look, up with the arm. Wash like this. Beautiful. And we are done. And some of you might say, well, I don't have to wash my hands. I use hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer is really not ideal. One of the best things about washing your hands is the friction that we create. I'm going to put down my computer. It's just the friction that we create actually helps to clean off and scrub off the viruses and bacteria and to clean off the dirt. And so you don't really get that with the antibacterial or Purell thing and the sanitizer. And we also don't usually scrub for at least 20 seconds. So you do at least, if you're going to use that, then you at least want to scrub for 20 seconds. Additionally, for us in the fertility world, there are typically chemicals in hand sanitizers that can be endocrine disruptors. So in a perfect world, we don't want to use them. If we have to, then that is the next best step. Also, in terms of prevention, then the other thing that's important is just social distancing and not shaking hands. So I've put together 4 options for how you can say hello and goodbye to those around you without insulting them and avoiding them, but at least acknowledging them and not touching them directly by shaking their hand. So here are my 4 ways for you to greet or say goodbye to somebody. So in this time of social distancing, we have to be careful of the way we greet one another. So we've got 4 optimal ways to say hi or bye to everybody. So the first one is going to be the fist bump. Bam. All right. The next one is the elbow bump. Bam. How about the wave? Awesome. And number 4 is actually our favorite, which is the namaste. All right, so now on to some of my more important tips for how to support yourself, your family, and your health during these trying times. One of the most important things is really managing your stress. So stress levels, we do know that when your stress levels are high and compromised, it does negatively impact your immune system and leaves you more susceptible to catching a virus. So we do want to manage your stress levels, and now is the time to do that. Additionally, stress can also negatively impact your hormones, so it will have a twofold effect when we manage our stress levels now. So now is the time to start to meditate. It doesn't have to be difficult. Just takes a couple minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes to just focus on your breath. And as you become more adept at it, you can allow that to go for a longer time. There are wonderful apps as well that you can utilize to support the meditation process. Taking some time to get out into nature is always really good to reset your body and manage stress. It's one of my favorite things, going for a little walk and doing things that you love to do and bring you joy. So go ahead and do it. If now's the time, you're home, you're away from people, start reading, writing, painting, doing things that you love to do that bring you calm and peace of mind. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Number 2 is sleep. I talk about this all the time. Sleep is one of the most essential things you can do for your overall health. Immunity is no different. So this is a huge one on the list. And so stress and sleep have to be at the top here. This is a time not to get less sleep, but to get more sleep. So prioritize your sleep. Get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night and feel refreshed. This will do wonders for your health, your energy, and your immune system. Number 3 is exercise. I know that even though we don't want to be out at the gym right now and we are trying to distance ourselves from people, it doesn't mean you can't go out for a nice walk or a little run or do some exercise at home. So definitely add that in. That is excellent for your immune system. And number 4 is your diet. Definitely shouldn't be 4th on the list. It could be higher, but you can change all of those in whatever priority you think is best for you. But diet is really important. This is the time to eat nutrient-rich, nutrient-dense foods, eat healthy. I know we're all worried about food supply and stuff like that. Get the best foods you can at this time. Organ meats are excellent sources of nutrients. And actually, liver has a high amount of vitamin A, which is excellent for your immune system. And I'll get into that in just a minute as I get into supplements that you can start to use. So as we go into supplements or herbs or whatever you want to call them, I've written down some key ones that you can start to add in. Number 1 is zinc. Zinc lozenges, if I can say that right, are excellent. You want to have them 2 to 3 times throughout the day. Suck on it slowly. It helps to bring more moisture to your mouth and helps to support your immune system and fight viruses specifically. Also, some herbs you can start to use if you're not already using in cooking and maybe making some teas out of are garlic, ginger, and turmeric. You can make a nice ginger tea or juice some ginger and drink that, or add that into another mixture of juice that you can have throughout the day, which is excellent for your immune system. Increasing your citrus vegetables right now because they're high in vitamin C. And then fermented foods are also awesome because they bring a lot of healthy bacteria to support your digestive system, and your digestive system is essential and is at the forefront and foundation for a proper immune system. So good fermented foods is also one to incorporate into your diet at this time if you don't already. Adding in some extra vitamin A, especially if you're fighting something, would be important. If you're already getting it in some organ meats, then you don't need to add it in. Additionally, as long as you're eating the organ meats, a couple times a week, and by that I mean specifically liver. Cod liver oil also is high in vitamin A, or you can supplement with it. If you do find that you're fighting something or catching something, then you could give yourself, for a short period of time, higher doses of vitamin A. Higher doses for a long period of time can be toxic to the body, so you do need to be careful. I only recommend that for about a week, and then you taper back down depending on how you're going to get it and the source you're going to get it from. Also, a wonderful one for your immune system, it also has profound effects in all sorts of other areas, is vitamin D. And I recommend usually 5,000 to 6,000 IUs a day. And for a short period of time, you can even go much higher to support your immune system, especially during these crazy times. Some of my favorite immune fighting and immune support supplements come from those lovely bees that produce some wonderful things. So propolis spray is excellent, and honey, but a specific one that I really like is called bee-powered honey. You can lick it right off the spoon, and these combined will increase cellular immune response as well as the antimicrobial and antiviral. We're going to put a link down below in the description to purchase your propolis and your bee-powered honey from a great company that I love and has some great products for all of you. They make ones also for kids if any of you have children that you need to keep healthy as well. And right now I think, because I've been talking so much, I could use some zinc and some spray as well. Some other things to round this out: cordyceps, rhodiola, and astragalus are some great herbs to put in. You can also get them fresh. Cordyceps is a mushroom, rhodiola is an herb, astragalus is also an herb, and they're great for the lungs, they're great for the immune system, and you can make like a tea out of them or just take them in capsules as well. There is an excellent Chinese medicine formula of 3 herbs with lian chow, which is 2 parts of that, jinyan hua 1 part, and huang qin 1 part. And you make a decoction of that or a tea of that, and then you take 1 teaspoon 2 to 3 times a day of that. And I do have to give credit to that mixture right there to a friend of mine, Chris Kresser. He posted this on his podcast, which is called Revolution Health Radio. He's a wealth of knowledge and information, and if you haven't already, you should check out his podcast. And that's where I got that little bit of information right there. So hopefully that sets you all off in the right direction as we are all concerned about the COVID-19 virus and doing what we can to support ourselves and the communities that we live in. So I would love to hear from all of you. Comment down below. Let me know what you are doing to support yourselves during this time. What of the things that I mentioned in this video are you going to start to do to improve your health and your immune system and to support your fertility? So let me know by commenting below. So if you want to use this time to support your fertility and take advantage of this downtime, so to speak, like I suggested before, then I'm going to encourage you to sign up for a discovery call with me and my team so that we can create a plan together so that you can use this time to really improve your fertility. So to do that, just use the link down below to sign up to work with us. Remember to click the link below to register for the live training coming up where I'll be sharing with you my 5 favorite fertility supplements to get pregnant in 2020.
If you liked this video, remember to give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my dad's YouTube channel, hit that bell. And since this virus is going on and we're home a little more, then you can watch more of my dad's videos right there. And if you want us to be in more YouTube videos, leave a comment down below. Thanks.